Okay.
Welcome back, everyone, to the TMI FYI podcast. I am Nat.
I am Claude.
And we are coming to you in Morning in Black from head to toe.
It's one of those days.
It
was spontaneous. Not that we ever plan anything, but today it was kind of like, hey, I'm coming grungy. I go, I'm in concert t-shirt and just in that kind of not really emo vibe.
Are you feeling angsty?
It's been one of those days a little bit.
I get you.
The internet following today got a little under my skin, but it's okay. I usually don't read the comments. You know I don't go there, but did today, and I wanted to just smack myself.
So, I made that noise I said I wasn't going to make. All right. So for background, we do have social media accounts. We have a TikTok and an Instagram. You should be following us by now. If you're not, why? But we post little clips, and
they're clips.
They're
excerpts.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Taken from a full conversation.
Yes. And occasionally some of them pop off on TikTok in particular.
Yeah.
And the comments were not super nice today about...
No, not even a little bit. And it was so obviously taken out of context because everybody's a therapist. In the 30-second clips, they can solve all your problems and the answers. And, all the horrible things on this planet. And when, I get the last laugh because had they listened to the whole episode, it was really about sticking it out and working through things in a relationship.
For background, again, the clip that we were referring to is if you listen back to our midlife episode, Claudia was sharing how she had a moment in the kitchen with her husband where she was really honest with him about what was going on. And again, no one got to hear the conclusion of the story in the clip. And so they took it upon themselves to make all kinds of judgments, which just speaks to how horrible of a place the internet is. Oh, yeah. And we all just need to...
Which is why I've always said I didn't want to read the comment, because I understand that when you're stuck at a red light and you're scrolling TikTok and you see that or see whatever you see...
these people were clearly in a basement. They don't have cars. that wasn't the audience.
And really, I think what bothered me the most is that the whole point that we even do this or decide to have conversations is because sometimes you find yourself alone, or you think you're alone going through something and you wish you had someone to share it with, or you wish you had heard it somewhere. And so we're trying to bring some of those things that maybe are just a little underground, and so the other people that are underground, all the things that I was called and told and whatever. And honestly, I think what bothered me the most was that my husband reads these and my daughter edits this. And we were all in this together, but nobody gives a shit. They read it and they comment what they want and they scroll to the next thing. That's fine. But today it was just kind of like, that was 2 years ago we went through that. So, on them.
Well, you activated the mole people.
Yeah. So it was just kind of that kind of day. And then it's rainy, which I love, but it was just kind of like a day.
Yeah.
So
you're feeling good now. You're feeling rock and roll.
We're leaving for Africa in 3 days, so I really don't care.
Oh, yes. So we've been talking about this a little bit, but not really. So you're taking like a straight up dream bucket list
this
trip.
Is the number one.
Tell the people, where are you going? What are you doing?
Number one trip of our lives. We wanted to do it for our 25th anniversary, but we went to Canada instead, which was awesome. This has just been one of those, my dream in my life is to see elephants in the wild. And if I can get anywhere near them, that is all I wish for. So we're going with 4 other couples, my brother-in-law and his wife, and then 3 friends from his business. And we're going to, Cape Town, and then we're going to Botswana, Zimbabwe, South Africa. And then my husband and I go on our own to a third safari in Kenya. We're going to see the migration and hopefully do a hot air balloon.
That is so cool.
So cool. So I'm very excited about that. And that happens in T-minus 3 days.
Yay. So you're not busy. You don't have a lot going on.
Mind you, haven't started packing, but that's okay.
So what you needed was to just sit here and talk some shit with me for a couple hours.
And vent and just let feel it all better.
So was that your bun twist, the trolls?
That and that I was trying to call Apple.
Oh, yeah.
I fixed my laptop and it said if someone else is going to be picking it up for you, please call and let us know. So I call, but all I get is the automated person, and then you press all the things and it just never got there. So why is there any way to not have an automated answering anything? Or if you say representative,
I
like
think
many
so.
memes and many things.
Yes.
And I just keep pressing 0 or
That's
say
what I do.
represented, but then they left me on hold. You heard, I was just on
Yeah.
hold, eternal hold in silence.
Apple's
So,
not fucking around. They have no people. Probably all AI.
yeah, I'd still be on
over.
hold. So,
All right.
I mean, customer service is lacking around the world.
Yeah,
but that's
Apple,
okay.
are you listening? We'll
Yeah.
still take your sponsorship, but
Or
please.
free anything.
Yeah.
Free phone. But
Yeah, right.
yeah.
All
So,
right.
do you have a bun twist?
I do actually. So my
You're gonna
lovely.
talk about your dog?
I am.
That ate your retainer.
I am. I had another one, but then this happened on my way
Okay.
over here, and so I was like, well, now I have to talk about it because I know I do talk about the dog a little bit, but he's new to the family, so everybody can just pipe down. I'll stop talking about him eventually.
You don't talk a lot about him.
I feel like he's come up a few times.
Probably because I bring him up.
Yeah, it is definitely because you bring him up. But anyway,
But look, see what happens when he grows up?
oh yeah, we have a larger version of my dog here today
Visiting
visiting us.
He's my dog's best friend.
But my dog decided, so I use Invisalign. I'm on my very last tray. I still need more because whatever. And so I'm waiting for my new trays to come in, which means though I don't have any new ones. I don't have the next one to go to.
Yep.
And my dog decided to go into my room, go to my nightstand, grab it, eat it, and chew it beyond recognition.
They do love. The last time I
I've
did
heard this.
Invisalign, I lost about 3 of them to my dog. So now I was very
Wow.
careful. Yep. Yeah,
Well,
on
I'm
my last
annoyed.
one.
And now, well, good for you. I'm not. And I don't even know how many more I have left to go.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe by the time I get them in, they will have moved. It's all a thing. So,
So today, her dog is on her list. Although he is adorable. I mean, you know.
yeah, but you know what? Cute is only going to get you so far with me. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
I know. So
Okay,
anyway, now that
so-
we vented, and you guys are probably going, okay, get to it. Let's get to it.
I did it again.
It's okay.
Sorry, how gross is that noise, guys? All right. So today we are going to be talking about the parental load. And we have sort of touched on some of these things when we were talking about pregnancy, we were talking about giving birth. Like we kind of dove into some of this, and I just think it's come up in conversation other times. But we really wanted to do more of a deep dive into, you have a kid, if you have a family and there's children, there are so many things to do. I mean, the list is never ending, and it's just an ongoing thing that is very physical, and it's very mental, and it's very emotional. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that as ladies, we take on the lion's share of what that looks like. So we're just going to talk a little bit about what our experience with that has been.
Now, yeah. So side note, side question, because we
Sure.
are of different ages, and you are way more woke than I am. Because
What?
I don't even. But
We're not going to
no,
discuss.
I'm just saying. I dare I ask, like,
Sure.
is that a thing now, like because of after COVID and the changes of working from home and remote and whatever, do you think that has changed any of that because now, partnerships, I don't want to just exclusively say the male or the dads, but that's our experience. I can't
Sure.
speak for same-sex couples. So whatever your dynamic is, but when one of you stays home or works remote, or when it's traditional guy girl, do you think that that's still prominent as much as it was, let's say, 20 years ago? I mean,
Yes. So, okay.
so that's really, because I know when I come in with my experience and what ours was like, I'm talking early
no.
2000s. So
I think some things have changed. I don't think it's changed as much as maybe people like to think it has.
right.
Because what all the research shows is that even in dual career couples, and this is present day people, women still report taking on a higher load of the domestic, administrative, life duties. And actually, going back to the same-sex couple thing, I don't know if this research still holds true, but this was true at least 8 or 9 years ago, where the research showed that same-sex couples often had less conflict around work life because the gender role expectations were not at play there. Like the gender dynamics of, well, women do this and men do this. It's like, well, we're both women or we're both men. And so there's no expectation
Right.
that you're going to take care of that because you're the mom. or you're the dad. And so there was actually less conflict around this stuff. Again, I don't know if that still holds true, and I'm sure it's not true of every couple. But I think that although we have made a lot of progress, and I will say, like in my experience, thinking of COVID, is actually I was on maternity leave during COVID. Juan stayed home. He took off for 12 weeks, which is a lot. And
Yeah,
I know
it's
a lot of men, first of all, don't even get that time off. But even if they did, a lot of them won't take it because then they look at you at work with a side eye like, oh, you're going to stay home with your baby? Like, yeah. I mean, and it could impact their career progression and all of that stuff.
That's awful.
Yeah, and by the way, it does the same thing for women. You think we like
which
that?
I think that's what I'm saying. But I just think that that's such an awful. No one else can do it. Like who else is going to have babies? You want to procreate. You want to grow.
Exactly.
People, workforce. You got to give them time to have like. I just don't.
Well,
I've never understood that whole mentality. You're a big company. You're a business. You're going to be fine.
That's what they don't what I think a lot of these companies don't realize is that they think, oh, we're going to lose money, we're losing productivity. What they don't realize is that if you lose that person because they don't feel like their company supported them during a time that was so critical in their lives, they're going to leave. And do you know how much it costs to replace an employee?
And now you got to train somebody. Experience.
Well,
you're losing all kinds of stuff just because it's
knowledge.
A life chapter.
All of that.
Yeah,
it's temporary. And so those companies are very, very short-sighted. But in any case, I do think more men are taking time off. I do think more men are expected to be involved. But I still think, and I've said this before, like my husband's great, but the mental load of our life, it lives in my head. It's not on him.
Nope.
And I think that is the experience of most heterosexual couples.
No, and I think especially if it's in our head, like my husband was great as far as a participant. Like I think I've mentioned, he was the Barbie doll player, and he was the get on the floor and build the things while I'm like cooking, laundry, doing stuff around the house. I'm like, I don't have desire or time to sit on the floor. I did go to the sports and I helped coach, and I loved doing the whole taking everybody to the volleyball games. I loved all that. But I would definitely be the one who signed up for stuff, and he would participate, but he wasn't like on top of
deadlines. Okay, let me ask you what you think about this, because I hear this all the time and it kind of makes my blood boil and it makes me want to commit crimes. So
I'm with you. Let me know.
I often
especially
hear,
today.
yeah. Don't get you got us on the wrong
don't
day.
Get my blood twisted.
But men will often say, and sometimes even women say this about men, well, just biologically, they're just not wired that way. That's just not what they're meant to do. Now, I can accept that biologically we probably have different inclinations, impulses, and all that.
Right.
I accept that. I don't accept that you can't fucking learn. Okay? I don't accept that. Because you guys are smart enough to run companies, run governments, world economies, and yet you can't remember to do basic things around your house.
Yeah, no. From what I understand, and when I read in, I believe it was Men Are From Mars. Remember that famous book way back when?
Oh, you're really going back.
Way back. You could pull it out of the
You're
archive.
taking it to the...
No, but he explained in that book, or she explained, I don't even know. I don't remember the author.
It was probably both.
Men's brains and women's brains. Women's brains are built for multitasking.
Yes.
Men focus more. They can handle 1 to 2. That's why if you give them 3 things to do, by the third one, they're kind of like, what was it you asked me to do again? They're task-focused. You give them a task, they do it, knock it out, go. Like That's why when you send them to the grocery store, if you send them with a list, they come back with just what's on the list.
Yeah.
They don't look around. They don't say, I thought we might need this, and pick it up. It wasn't on the list. You give them a task, and they'll tell you, was it on the list? No. Cut and dry, black and white.
I accept it.
Right. And we are like, I could maybe use that. We because we also handle, we're in charge of keeping another human alive.
And so are they.
But I know, but they're not.
But this is what this.
But that's just it, and it.
But I
wish.
cannot accept. They do this at work all the time. Okay, you can't tell me that at work you never think of the next step of your project. That you don't manage up and think about consequences and try to like come up with the different scenarios and present solutions. You do that at work all the time. Why is it that when you get home, that skill just disappears? And now I have to come up with every solution to
And you know
everything.
what sucks, I think, sometimes? And I hopefully I can word this correctly.
Yeah.
I think women, we find a new, I don't want to say power or we just realize that we can handle more than we ever it just happens inherently. You start feeding times and sleeping and you start taking charge and taking care of all these things inherently. It just starts to happen. It's I don't want to say it's biological, but I guess it
might be.
It's a maternal, I don't know.
Sure.
And we're in charge of keeping that routine of doctor's visits and and I don't even know where I was going to go with that.
Well, but
Totally
okay.
lost, but that's what I'm saying. I think that and then we become very reliable. I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think at some point maybe the husbands, the partners, whatever, think, oh, she's got it, or I'm not worried about it because she's got it. Like they just assume that we just have it handled. We're in charge of the school, we're in charge of the groceries, we're in charge of the home stuff, we're in charge of. I mean, no one puts us in that, but we're still, I think, secretly traditional. I think.
Well, but what about the situations? And I've had this conversation with many a lady.
Yeah. Oh,
okay?
and we've had
these conversations,
which
and we will say things like maybe, right? But then let's say we say to our gentleman, hey, I don't want to be in charge of all this stuff. I'm going to need you to pull a little bit more of your weight. And even when you draw the diagram with the highlights and the stickers
and the sticky notes,
and like, here's
arrows.
what I need you to do. Sometimes it gets
3
done.
and 4 and 5 times.
Sometimes it doesn't.
6.
And then there's just this. Here's one of two things that can happen. One of which I got this morning, which made me so mad. It was like, well, you do it better. Or there's the if you only like it the way that you like it, and I always do it wrong, so I'm just not going to do it anymore.
That's a fun one.
And I'm like, well, that's not how that works.
Well, and I'm not going to take the side of guys. I think that by the time we ask them to help, we're annoyed already. Like, I've asked you 17 times. You're doing it. I've shown you how to do this several times.
Or maybe you could just look around. Look around.
Like, if you really want to help, then pay attention and help. Don't just say it, oh, I'll do that later, or I'm going to do that, and then you just say it so that I shut up. Mm-hmm. If I'm asking you to do it, it's not. Put on your shoes and do it. I'm not going to rest until it's done. You know I'm not going to. Just do it. And I love reading some of those memes online that say, if she's asking you to do it, go ahead and put your shoes on because you bet. Do yourself a favor. Like my daughter used to ask me this too. I said I'd help mom, but da-da-da. Okay, when someone's drowning and they yell for help, it's not for when you can get around to it. I'm asking for help now.
Right.
The help is needed now. So then by the time you've asked 3 and 4, now you're a nag, now you're a bitch, now you're all these things, and you end up doing it yourself. So I think sometimes quietly, there might be some boys out there, some big grown boys, that say what they need to say to get through the moment, and they know damn well they're not going to do it, and you end up doing it anyway, and they know you will, so then they don't do it.
I think that is a lot of boys.
Most.
A lot of grown boys out there they fall into that dynamic, and
then you're the nag, which is awful.
Well, and what are you going to do? Are you going to like divorce your husband because he didn't do the dishes?
Yeah.
But it's like the accumulation of these little things that keep happening over and over and over, and then you're just resentful, and it's like nothing has happened necessarily, but you look over at them and you're just like, fuck you.
Like, I'm a grown-up too. I'm just as much a grown-up woman that likes to do, as much as you are a guy who likes to do the things that you like to do. Like, why am I stuck with some of this crap?
Yeah. And
like,
and
we both should be stuck with the crap.
And to be fair, because I'm nothing if not very fair, my husband does things that I never do. Right? So, like, if there's something broken in the house, I'm not fixing it. I'm not going to Home Depot.
Oh, I am.
I don't, well, you
see, I'm the man. I mean,
I don't like that stuff. I'm never doing that. When
I love it.
To,
I
like,
love it. And when he goes to Home Depot and I send him, I'm like, okay, it's an aisle 8. If it's eye level, just look down 2 shelves. And he's like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, love it. I
don't
could spend,
do
I
that.
wanted a part-time job there. I want to learn to do, Love it.
Okay.
Love, love, love. And for my birthday, I always ask for a Home Depot gift card.
Oh God, Jesus Christ! All right.
I know it's a problem.
No, so
But
I don't do that. I
Task
don't.
oriented.
I don't really do like our money stuff. Like he takes care of that. There are things that he does. But here's what I think, and I think that's true in most marriages. There's like the stuff that the man will take care of that
and you
the
guys
woman
should
doesn't.
know what
But-
each other likes or what are our strengths and what we bring.
Yes, but here's what I find about the male's tasks.
Tell me.
I'm really aggressive today because
No.
I've been holding this in.
Go, but that's
So-
good. We're venting today.
Here's what I find about the
Trolls.
men's.
Ah.
Here's what I find about the male's tasks. They are not the everyday task. Like you're not going to Home Depot or fixing stuff every single day. You're not managing the budget every single day. The stuff that you do. Oh, he always says, "You've never cleaned out the garage." I'm like, "You're right, I haven't." But you also do that once every like 5 or 6 months. Meanwhile,
And what's-
dishes are every day.
Yeah.
Kids showers are every day.
Doggies.
Homework is every day. The parent group chat that's gonna make me again crimes. I mean, that's every day. So it just it feels really unbalanced.
It really is the everyday stuff that chips away.
Yes.
It really, really is. And then something semi-significant happens and you blow up or something happens. Like, what the fuck happened to her? Like what? Well, and
Yeah.
then you point out the little things and it sounds so stupid and
It
so
does.
like
so petty.
so petty. And you're going, but you know, you know they're not. Like, stop making it, like I'm a psycho. We all know. We've all been. And it's funny because there was all the more reason to not have kids. Somebody today on that wonderful chat said, all the more reason against marriage. Oh, my God. Nobody said life is going to be a walk in the park, skipping
it's
through.
definitely not.
And you know what? Sometimes when we stick through things and you work through things, it makes you stronger, better. You laugh. You have to. Having a kid is a lot of work. And there are moments you're like, wow, and you can't wait to get through it. And let me tell you what, you get through it, and now I'm like, oh, if I could just have one day back.
Oh,
like
I know.
often look back now. My daughter just turned 24, and I think, if I could go back to when she was 3, and just for a day, for the smells and the little when she was talking and getting her personality. You're so quick to get through it at the time because you're tired and you're
Yeah.
working and that I don't think we appreciate it as much as we probably should because when it's gone. But it's work and you're tired and you have all these things and it's like, wow, it's a load. It's a load.
It's a load and it's hard. It's a load of shit is what it is. And it's hard.
Load of work.
It's hard to appreciate it when
You're in it.
when you're drowning in it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel pleasant. Yes, you can look back on the prettier parts and your
You
mind
forget, yeah.
your mind tends to filter out all how the difficult
Which
parts.
is why women have more than one child. Because
Yes.
you can filter out.
Mother Nature is wise.
Is amazing.
But it's really hard to appreciate any of that, and it also just here's the other thing that I find unfortunately that even though I feel this way and I know that I shouldn't care so much, like I should be delegating and outsourcing and maybe I shouldn't care stuff, but like if I drop the ball on something I start to feel super guilty. Like it's and it's self-imposed because I know my husband would never say to me, you forgot to do this or you forgot to do that, but I know it needs to get done.
Yeah.
And so when it doesn't get done, then I feel like a failure. And I don't think men ever walk around thinking, man, I really failed,
Didn't
my
do the
kid
dishes.
today.
Yeah.
And I didn't make a friend with I don't know any of the parents, for example. Like it's my job to befriend all the parents and make the play dates and all that sort of stuff, which like, you think I want to do that?
Yeah.
You think I want to just go make friends now? I'm 40 fucking 2. I don't want to make a friend.
I have my friends.
I have my friends, but now I have to like, hi, this is Oliver's mom. Would you like?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
and the one that suffers is Oliver.
of course,
Which
So
is
I
what
do
sucks.
It,
So you
I do
smile,
it
you
for
stick
him.
your tongue in your ass, as they would say. It's a Spanish expression.
I'd love it if you would come over for us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, now I got to entertain for. Thank God, I'm really, and I've told you this. My daughter went to private Catholic school. I did not. I grew up. I did CCD on Sundays, and I was like, my mom told me she was going to put me in. I go, dare you? I will run away. I'm not going to private Catholic school. And so when my husband did, St. Teresa and all these through high school, and I was very against. I was like, I'm not going to get along. The preconceived.
Yeah.
What to expect, semi or very affluent family. I'm like, I don't know how to relate to these people. who are now some of my best friends. I could have never imagined my life now without them. I've made some great friends, totally and completely different than what I anticipated and had, in my head. Gave it a chance, and it was the best. And to hear her talk these days, she says it was the best years of her life. It was, and I was involved, and I was a room mom, which I never thought. I'm like, what? But it was, you can have what you imagine a room mom is, because whatever your moms are, I did it because the people that I was involved with or around were.
But can I talk about? Okay,
it was fun and it was great.
I don't mean to dismiss your experience.
No.
And that
I'm just saying it was completely different than what I anticipated, and I was pleasantly surprised.
I am really glad you had a good experience. But can I also just say
that not everybody goes through that?
Well, no, not only that, but also that these expectations and this imbalance in the load comes not just from our own interpersonal dynamics with our partners. They're coming from everywhere. And I'll give you an example.
Tell me.
When Oliver started, my oldest started in pre-K, or I forget, kindergarten maybe, there was a folder called the mommy folder. And the mommy folder was important papers, tests, reminders. And I'm like, shouldn't it be like the parent folder?
Yeah, it should.
Or, mommy and daddy, or just an
elders,
adult in charge folder, something.
Yeah.
It was the mommy folder.
Oh.
And
we had the green folder.
And at school, that would have been better.
Yep.
At this new school, every time the chat starts, there's some dads in the chat, but they never talk. And mostly it's always like, well, my husband mutes it.
Yeah, I don't blame
him. It. But by the way,
we didn't have a chat.
In that chat is everything we need to know about their lives. On Wednesday, it's, Dr. Seuss Day. And on Friday, they have to wear this T-shirt. And then they have a field trip. And here's church day. And here's whatever. And because he mutes it, I'm the only one who knows. Oh. So I have to be like, okay, remember that this is that. And it's so-and-so's birthday. And, he has to turn this in. And I feel like the mommy folder is how most people are living their lives. And mommy folder's getting full.
Yeah.
We're getting full.
Yeah, it's overloaded.
We're overloaded.
We used to have the one green folder, and they would send home once a week on Wednesdays or something, and you had to sign the back of the folder. And that would mean you got all the documents that were inside, and that was all either like test grades that they had or upcoming events or signing up for a raffle, that kind of stuff. And somebody had to sign it and return it, or they got some sort of penalty. So one of us always got, made sure that we looked at the green folder. And that was that. I mean, yeah, there's always a responsibility. And I think at the time, each parent had to put in a certain amount of volunteer hours.
But they weren't looking to
something.
See, is it dad coming? It didn't matter, right? Mm-hmm.
Nope. You had to work the fair, which I loved, which was like, we waited for the fair just as much as the kids did, because we were there all weekend. It was great. And the dads, I think, redid the playground for the kids. They volunteered on a Sunday.
Manual labor. They deserve it.
I mean, it really ended up, I can't say that it was a bad experience. There was one year that there was one mom that was like, caused a ripple with everybody, and that was awful. But
well, I also on another point around this, I just think along this expectation stuff, there's the ideal that we have of what makes a good mom, and then there's the ideal of like, if he does anything, oh my God, he's such a good dad. He's such a good husband.
I know. Like, what do you
expect? He dressed them? Look, they look so good.
He gave them a bath?
He bathes them?
Oh, yeah. He took them to the movies? Yeah, he wasn't just a sperm donor.
He's not a babysitter.
We are like a unit, and we tag team. No, you go to this party. No, you go to this party. Like,
it's so unfair the way that they get praised and showered with compliments for doing the bare minimum. And meanwhile, you drop one ball.
Yeah.
The judgment, the vitriol that comes your way because, you failed at the thing you're supposed to be best at.
And you know what, though? And what sucks is, biologically, I'm the one that has the babies. Okay. Doesn't mean that everything else that I'm supposed to do comes along naturally. Like, some people just don't have that. Some women, and I would say that's why I probably put my daughter in daycare at 16 months. I liked to be at the office. I liked having my adult life. I was very independent at a young age and was used to being around adults. And I had lots of nieces and nephews, and that was very cool. So I had exposure, but this whole, I dream of being a mom, I didn't grow up with the fairy tale of wanting that. I knew I wanted children, and I wanted to get married, but I didn't just like hang my star on my prince coming. I mean, you know, so having been in that world and being at home, I just kind of felt like, oh, you know, this itch to like, I want to be around adults again.
Yes.
And I can't be her sole entertainment. I don't think that's healthy anyway. Personal opinion.
Yeah.
Okay?
No,
Before I get darts thrown at the camera.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. I put her in at 16 months, and I tell you, for us, it was the best decision. She potty trained in a weekend. She started talking by the age of 2, full conversation, sentences. Her social skills were great. I couldn't have given her that at home.
Yeah.
Because I was doing other stuff. You know, at the school,
you wanted to do other stuff too, because I think there are some moms that want to do all that stuff.
Yeah, and you know, more power to you. But I mean, then what I have seen, a lot of times when you're that involved and then you do become kind of the sole
universe
around the child, and you tell the men what to do, and they're doing it wrong, and do it this way, and then when they want to help, they're like, you know what, I'm just going to get told exactly what you said a little while ago. I'm going to get told I'm doing it wrong, whatever, because you're so much around that child. You know, you have to maybe take a breath and
I do think that there's probably space for us as women to, in a lot of cases, just be okay with, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to get done. And maybe, yes, I would have done a better job with it because I think of 7 steps and you think of 2, but maybe.
But how essential are the rest of those steps that didn't get done?
Some of that is just, it's self-imposed and it's not really necessary. So there is probably space for us to be a little bit. But on the other hand,
you've seen me do it a million times. Why can't you just do it the way you do it?
And honestly, so my husband, again, he's going to listen to this episode and be like, what the fuck?
Why do you hate me? No.
Babe, I love you and you're fabulous.
But you know what? What you explained to me a little earlier before, and I don't know if you're going to tell the story of today, but that is a very normal, that is a very real, you know, it's a very real thing that I think happens in most parents' morning when it's the alarm goes off and it's your turn, but I'm too tired, and you do it. You know, like sometimes one of you is going to have to pick up the slack, but it's like, damn, man. Yeah, we usually get the short end of the stick.
That literally is what happened today. We take turns doing like the morning, and it was definitely his morning. I shouldn't have had to say that. It was like, I did it yesterday. And he was like, well, what, me? Is it me? What? Can you do it? Like that sort of thing.
You do it better.
You do it better is what he told me, which I do. I do it better. But that doesn't mean I want to.
Because you wake up early. So you plan for it.
I plan for it. He doesn't plan for it.
So.
And there's a lot of other things where sometimes he asks me questions like, how do we do this? Or how am I supposed to do that? I'm like, do you think that I have some secret book that I refer to with the answers to these questions? I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I just make it up. I just think.
Learn as I go. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
You do it.
So I wonder why it's so difficult for men to just be proactive. I don't know if it's because they're afraid of the criticism they're going to get, if it's wrong. I don't know if it's just.
And we do that as women.
We do.
But I think that comes also from being in charge of so many things that you want it to run smoothly. And this is the way to do it if you want things to go right. How do I know this? Because I've done it a million times.
Exactly.
So just do it like I tell you. Because trust me, it works. And if you don't like it, who cares? This is what works. I'm the one that does it 80% of the time. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
Well, have you had anything that works for you? I think one thing that has helped a little bit is we started like a family calendar, and we put
I was going to tell you, we put when those folders things and all that comes, do you have it in a place that's like communal?
We've started doing that. We tried doing a shared notes app for a while, and that actually worked until we stopped doing it. So anything could work. You have to do it is the issue. But we did have a shared notes where we had upcoming dates. We had grocery lists. So when the person goes to it was like a bunch of stuff. So if you go to the grocery store, you look at the list and say, oh, we need garlic, we need whatever. And we would have tasks like buy Fulanita's birthday gift and stuff like that. And so whoever happened to be at the place where they could get that, they would do it. But again, it didn't last very long.
Yeah, that sounds like I don't know. We never had a shared thing. We have a calendar now that we don't even use because now there's not really a lot of activities. One of our daughters lives out, one lives at home, but she's got her own thing, and it's like no one's putting anything on the shared calendar because we don't have to attend each other's things. But that's a good idea. So now they have those type of like calendars that you put the thing in and it syncs it up.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like a chalkboard type thing, and then so you can just look at it and like you can color code it.
Yeah.
And so as soon as you get an event, it's up there, and he can look at it and just say, "Oh, what do we have this week?" You know,
Yeah.
everybody can see it.
The other idea that I like, which I have not done, and honestly, you're right. Maybe I am the problem. The more I talk, the more I realize maybe it's me. The other idea that I kind of like, but I just don't have enough faith, but it could work for some people. You give each like your own domain. Like you are in charge of school. So anything that has to do with school, that's on you. I'm in charge of home or groceries or whatever. Like you pick. Like these are my kingdoms, these are your kingdoms. I'll keep you up to date, but as far as the logistics, the keeping track of, the deadlines, that's on you.
How do you divide that?
Well, I guess you have to focus.
Home
What are you good
also
at?
involves kids in school, and then so the school activities and
Well, whatever you're good at. So if you're in charge of school, your job, I'm making this up. I have no idea because I don't do this. But I would imagine.
just hypothetical in Nirvana world.
I'm just thinking, if you're in charge of school, it's your job to be in charge of everything school, which also means telling me the things that I need to know about school. That's your job.
Birthday party.
If there's a kid's birthday party, if there's teacher conference.
Grab more Prosecco.
Yeah, you are. If there's teacher conference, if there's a play, whatever it is, you can keep me informed, and you can even delegate something to me, but it's on you to make sure it gets done. That's your job. That's your kingdom. But again, I don't trust.
That's just it. We are so.
That's why I said
we really do. But
I'm the problem.
And the thing is, and I'm just as much. I follow up just to make sure it was done, quote unquote, right. And right means the way I would do it. And so, and I get the gripe coming from the other side of, well, why do I bother? Because you're just going to come behind me and do it.
But to be fair, don't we do it more right?
Of course we do.
Okay.
Of course we do. We know that. We know that. But does voicing it to them change it?
Does it help?
It doesn't.
I used to have a teacher that would always say, was that helpful or hurtful?
Doesn't matter.
And
teacher.
Well, it's just, I think it applies to the, sometimes I think we take it really seriously. And I think because we're so in, like you said before, I think we're just so invested in it. We're so in it that if you're not going to take it seriously and you're not going to do it right,
I think
it makes me mad.
Yeah. For me, I think we get into routine. We get into a system, a rhythm, and it's just the way we do it. And so you find the rhythm that works, and you want that rhythm to just keep going. So if I ask you to do it, just do it because it's part of the rhythm. Don't ask, don't go against the grain, don't challenge it. If you want to challenge it, then fix it, do it different, make it better, and then you're in charge of it. Like, in the meantime, I just need your help. Just do it this way. Don't. If you find a better way, great, I'm open. But until then, just do it. And that goes, we don't even have small kids anymore. And there are some times, I mean, we can always find little daily gripes as two people living together in a house.
Well, anytime,
25 years, 30 years, 40 years. I hear this from friends and family who've been married 40 years and some that are newlyweds. There's always you're living with another human. That's just, you each have your own things, you know, but I always say that my one that I go back to is, the laundry's full. Why is that only me that gets?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't see it.
I wash it, I sort it, and he will fold and put away, and then he puts away his own. And he folds mine and says, I don't know where to put it. And I always say, okay, but you could learn the one time and you can put it away. But you know what? I appreciate, I'm happy that he folds it. I hate doing that part. And I don't mind at all doing the washing and
that is called.
But my little asterisk there is when the thing is overflowing, you're allowed to just pull it out, sort it, and start laundry. Say, hey, I sorted the laundry and I started the first load. Why does it have to wait till I start it? Like, we can both do it. But it's not that big of a deal for me.
It's not, but
it's just something.
That is what we call weaponized incompetence.
Yeah.
It is just...
That's what we call it, is it?
It is what we call it. It is pretending like, I just don't know. As if you don't figure out complex things all the time.
However, I hate doing dishes. And he will come home from work, and before he even sits, if the dishes are, he'll stand there and wash the dishes by hand or load the dishwasher. so he'll take on that task when I walk by and I'm like, oh, the dishes are full. I'll do it, but
But it's a partnership.
Yeah.
And I think, and we've done a lot of, let me take responsibility. I have been shitting on men this entire episode. But it's a lot to run a household, to raise kids, to
figure out what's your...
to have a career,
Yeah.
to all the things that we do all day. And sometimes I think people really underestimate the mental and emotional load of keeping track of all those things. They don't seem like a big deal. What does it matter if we have tape in the house or if we have, like scissors somewhere? But that's what makes life run. And when you have to be the one that's keeping track of every single one of those little details, or it doesn't get done, guys,
Yeah.
we don't like that.
No.
So
No. And I think now is modern times because, we're evolving, right? As a
continuously.
right. Roles change. Women are voicing more. They're careering more,
Yeah, we are.
if that's the word. And I think as women, we still struggle a little bit between what am I supposed to be doing? What's the right thing? Am I being a good mom if I'm not as home as much as I should be? If I don't attend the sports, if I'm not at the after school things, because then you're selfish if you want a career and you're driven and you're all these things. Why?
Because
it's mean.
Because it is mean.
It's so mean, and it's so. I don't think as much as we want to say we've advanced, I think deep down we still carry those traditional thoughts.
Well, it's because those are the expectations that are on us, and I think people
By whom?
by everyone,
Right.
Like everyone, the
But that's
society, the world we
Mel
live
Robbins,
in.
I love you. Let them. Like they're not in your house doing the
Sure.
shit, but you still live with the. Oh, and they're the dogs.
Hell, guys, they're just unofficial co-hosts at this point.
Is that Thunder?
They're part of our pod.
By the way, yes, that is Thunder. That's why she's barking. Look, that's what your puppy's gonna grow up to do. You're always wondering, is he ever just gonna lay by my feet? Well, there you go.
That will be nice. All right, so I think we are wrapping up for the most part. We do have time for a delve deck. We would love, and I think what we need to do is maybe bring a guy in here to
Yes.
to push back on some of the things that we've talked about.
Yeah,
because
and we still
this
haven't
is-
hit. Yeah.
This is our perception of what's happening. This is how
Yeah.
we are interpreting these events. That doesn't mean we're right. I usually am, but it doesn't mean we're right. So the next evolution of this conversation will be, let's invite some boys.
We have
Let's ask
some
them-
dads.
let's ask them some
We have some,
questions.
and that's one of the things we still haven't gotten to the baby's home now. What that whole first phase of post baby
I think we did talk a little bit about that, didn't we?
No, we talked about getting them home, kind of going, okay, now what? But the whole postpartum depression, role expectations, dad's going back to work, and moms are home going, okay, what? Like,
Say what?
And then the blues and the,
Yeah.
you
There's
know,
so much here.
There's a lot, but it's life, and
This is like the bloomin' onion from Outback. So
yum.
delicious.
Sounds so good, especially with this rainy weather.
Oh, it does sound
I
good.
feel like SNL. Ooh, sweaty balls. So good.
Some of you might not know that reference, but
No,
you
it's
should.
okay.
All
No, you
right.
should always.
So let's do a little delve deck.
Yeah, delve deck. Which one are we doing? Which color? You have it? Someone's there? I think that's my niece that just got home.
I like this question. All right. Claude Pod.
Yes. Nat chat.
What do you like about your generation?
Oh,
Generation X, baby.
is that what I am?
Yeah.
X. I ask that every time. I'll never
Well,
remember.
how are you
Aren't I?
supposed to answer this question if you don't even know which generation?
Because I don't know the category. I just know people my age. That's what I call it.
You are fully, squarely, unmistakably
Equivocally. Generation X. I like
Generation
that,
X.
though.
You're
All
Gen
right.
X. Tell me about it.
Gen X.
What do you like
oh
about
my
your
God,
group?
the 80s, that we all have that ref. We just had a simple, fun existence, which came with all the things, the teenage angst and all that, but all the good music came out of our generation. Think of the 80s. Everything. Pop, heavy metal, hair bands, emo, kind of new wave. Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, Lenny.
In case anybody hadn't seen Lenny
Okay.
Kravitz, I love you, Lenny. you know, everything, the music, styles, trends, you know, it was just no social media. No, you know, if you're at a party, only the people that were at the party knew what happened at the party. The rest was rumor. Nobody had cameras. Nobody had phones. If you were sick and barfing in a bathroom or making out with someone, didn't care. It was just a simple, it was so, I wish sometimes that we could go back to, you know, the kids today or even 10 years ago.
They'll never know.
No, to experience that disconnect, you know,
Yeah.
talking on the phone with the long cord and the busy signal, and then call waiting came, and like, holy shit, you can have 2 calls at one time. And then,
Three-way calling.
oh my goodness, and oh shit, I didn't click over and the other person was still listening. Oh my God, the drama, and then caller ID.
Or the strategy behind making the three-way call, and like, okay, you're not gonna say anything,
Yes,
and I'm gonna
be
ask her the
quiet.
question.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, just stay quiet and listen. All of that was so.
While you entrap someone into saying some horrible
my
shit.
God. And people, some people maybe that are listening who know won't understand, and many will. And I think that was just such a great. I think we had a great balance of independence and learning how
Yeah.
to figure shit out, how to look at a map. And how, I mean, until I think we went to New York in 2009, before GPS, we would print out the GPS. And we're like, oh, MapQuest.
MapQuest.
Oh, that was like the thing. And I would highlight as
That
we
was
went. And
such an advancement in
oh,
technology.
and I kept thinking, what the fuck did we do before that? Like,
You just
how did you
learned it.
know? No, but like, where do you find the information? What exit do I get off of? How many miles is it? And you take the little legend at the bottom. You're like, okay, it's about 2 centimeters. Okay, and you go and you measure on the map. Oh, and I would highlight, and I'm like, it should be like 3 more exits. We could figure things out. You knew how to get around town. If you got lost, you figured it out. Now everything is so automated, you know, and I think people skills and and growth,
Yes.
personal growth, your brain development just
Yes.
doesn't happen. People
No.
don't have communication skills. And, you know, they walk into an interview and I think, you know, what do I say? Like, they don't know how to look people in the eye and shake their hand and just,
Because so
man.
much of their communication doesn't involve it.
No,
They don't
and
need
I've
it.
seen things recently where people say, "Oh, they went on a date or they went on," and they just like they don't know how to face communicate. God damn, really?
Yeah.
You know, and I feel bad. Dude, so our generation, I think, is a good kind of mix where we're still young enough to understand these new trends. I text and we do all those things, but still kind of can go back and reference like, man, and going to a club
Yeah.
4 a.m, dancing like to your sweating and like, oh my God, the music.
With a stranger just grinding
Oh my
behind
God,
you.
and they would play the whole song. Imagine. They played the whole song that you could dance to.
Those were good times.
Oh my God, it was. It was just such a fun. And if we could go back to it, and that could be now, that would be awesome.
Oh, well, I would
give up
do
the
that.
technology in a minute.
I
You-
would too. I frequently dream of going back to a flip phone because as much as my phone is great and has all kinds of, you know, we all know what the phones do.
Yeah.
But it was nice to not have that connection.
You,
So
yeah. You
my
see, I don't connect
generation-
mine to anything. Like my phone and.
is I'm not that far off from you.
No.
So I am technically a millennial, but I am depending on who you ask, I'm a geriatric millennial, an elder millennial, a zillennial because I'm on the cusp of Gen X and millennial. And I grew up with a very firmly Gen X brother who's just a year
And a
younger
half.
than you.
Year and a half.
Okay.
Younger.
And so I feel like I had a very Gen X type upbringing, but I think millennials, my answer is very similar. I think as millennials, we had the best of both worlds in that we had just enough technology to make life super comfortable. So we did have some internet. We saw that happen. We got to use
Dial-up.
We had the dial-up and
Doo-doo.
you use it and you could look things up and all of that.
But you didn't rely on it.
It didn't take over your life. It was something you did just for a little bit and then you sign off
And went back to your life.
because they would charge you by the minute, by
Yep.
the way. Even text messages and phones, like, yeah, we
That
had
didn't-
it.
yeah.
I had text messages. I remember having text messages, but they used to charge you per text
Oh,
message.
yes.
So you were very judicious about like, who am I going to text? What am I going to say? Your minutes were also counted.
Remember, yes, I
So
remember
you
our
couldn't-
cell phone bills were like $700 or something. You're like, oh.
So you couldn't
Yeah.
be on the phone all the time. You were living your life. And I did not grow up in the age of social media, so I did many things that will never be documented. I just think that's the most beautiful thing about our generation, and I would go back in a fucking heartbeat.
Yep,
and kids,
me too.
I'm sorry that you'll never experience that world. It
Rolling
was
down your window.
it was chef's
It really
kiss.
was. It really was. And I know that my daughter, for instance, we've talked about it so much. She appreciates, and she just, I wish I would have grown up in the 80s. And
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
You
and she
do.
knows it because it really was like just such a cool. Yeah. It just really was.
It really was. And you know what? We're fucking cool because we are
Yeah.
products of that
That's
generation.
right.
And you should follow us and you should subscribe.
And on YouTube, especially, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
YouTube,
YouTube, wherever.
Spotify, Apple, YouTube.
And YouTube.
Is that allowed? I don't know.
It is.
I
I
hope
love
it
it.
is.
And so thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us vent and giving us a
Yes.
space to, like, some days you just have a shitty day.
And you just need to let it out and put it on the internet. And that's what we're
Yes.
doing today.
So troll on.
Yeah. So leave us a review, subscribe, follow, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.